All right. Welcome to the Scorched Earth podcast, the sports side of everything. I'm your host, JT. If you could, hit that like and subscribe button. I know we don't really have a lot of listeners yet, but everybody out there who's listening, I appreciate you. Going to run down the sports world on Friday. And let's start out with the NBA. We got the Lakers beat the Clippers. As a Celtics fan, this Luka thing just makes me sicker each and every day. He scored 31 on his birthday. LeBron, 38 and 13. He seems rejuvenated with Luka as his running buddy. Lakers' fifth straight victory. I don't know if they're in the top four in the West, but boy, they scare me. They scare me. I mean, I'll tell you what really scared me is a couple Saturdays ago, they went into Denver and throttled them. Denver's always been their boogeyman. They can't seem to figure out Jokic and Murray. I'm worried that they do. I'm worried they got two really great ball handlers who can figure it out. And I look at their defensive numbers. They're in the top 10 in the league. And I look at that team and they got Reeves and they got Doncic and they got LeBron. And they're all terrible defenders, but somehow things are working out. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, right? I don't know. Are they just playing bad teams right now? You play who they send you. That's for sure, right? The Cavs rallied and beat my Celtics. Boston started out the game up 25-3. Cavaliers are just a good team. Donovan Mitchell just had a great game. They just didn't quit. I think you're looking at an Eastern Conference final right there. To me, the Celtics should just try and work on keeping everybody healthy. I will say Tatum almost had a triple-double at halftime. I was watching that first half. That guy was just cooking. Jaylen Brown was good. You know, Jaylen Brown doesn't seem to dominate like Tatum does. Tatum's on a mission this year. I saw Stephen A. say, he needs to do it in the playoffs. All right, man. They won the title last year. Okay? Maybe Jaylen Brown carried the heavy load in the finals. I had him at plus 650 to win the MVP. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I wouldn't do that again this year because I'll tell you what, they get to the finals, Tatum's taking it home. He is the best player on that team. Embiid, they're shutting him down, going to miss the rest of the season. They also need to keep it their top 6 pick. If it's 7th or greater, they have to give it away to OKC. It's a dangerous time for that team. If I was them, I'd shut down everybody. Maxey too. He's got an ingrown toenail. Paul George especially. I would assume in the next week we're going to see the Paul George needs to shut it down because there's no incentive to keep winning. You get to the play-in game, you're in trouble. You're really in trouble. You're giving away your draft pick. All right, in the NFL, Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams, like the pretty girl at high school, after flirting with everybody who she's going to take to the prom, decided to come back to Los Angeles, flirted with New York and Las Vegas. Guy's still a hell of a quarterback. You know, I mean, you can make the argument, and I will make the argument, that the Rams gave Philadelphia the toughest game they had in the playoffs. In Philadelphia, it was down to the last possession. They had it in the palm of their hand. They missed. All right. That happens. But, man, they make it competitive. That's for sure. And, you know, they're trying to figure out how much do you sign the guy for, because how long is he really going to be here? We'll see. Rams did sign offensive tackle Eric Jackson to a 3-year, $57 million deal. Kid's only 26. He's young. $37 million of that's guaranteed. To me, in today's market, that seemed kind of cheap. I don't understand why the guy just didn't go out to free agency, because believe me, every team out there needs offensive tackles. They do. They are desperate. That is literally the biggest premium position you're going to see in free agency. I mean, everybody's trying to build their offensive line. And you have teams with enormous cap money. You know, Vegas, New England, $100 million. You're telling me you couldn't have got this guy? All right. Giants are talking to Aaron Rodgers. Good luck with that. Hopefully you can schedule him coming in around his vacations to Egypt and his silent retreats to Oregon. Good luck. All right, back to baseball. Spring training's in full swing. Worries about Ohtani's shoulder being dismissed. Hit a home run in his first at bat. The dude's almost like a PlayStation player. I mean, I don't even know what you say. I saw the odds on him to win the MVP were like plus 250. I was like, why would you not bet that? You know, I didn't grab it. I was too much of a PW. But if I go back, I'm probably going to go back up for players to bet. California, we don't have online betting. Thank you. I don't need that temptation, but you know, I'm sure there's people who hide their VPNs, get around stuff. I don't know. I'm not that technologically sophisticated, but it is an interesting thing. I'm going to go over all my baseball bets probably in about a week and a half. Golf, Cognizant Open down there in Florida. Knapp still leads 13 under. The guy shot a 59 in the first round. My boy Berger, the guy I like to win the tournament, 2 back at 11 under. They kind of they didn't really throw the scorching scores out there. The wind came back up. Now the bear trap is there. It's becoming a more formidable course. It was nice to see Ricky Fowler. He's 3 back at -10. The cut was -5. Those guys were blistering this course. Going into Saturday, going into today, if you're going to bet, you know, you look at the strokes, but it's 13. I look at the number of players. If I'm going to bet on Saturday, I don't like going more than 15 players deep. And that pretty much puts you at 8 under. Seems about as far back as you can make it. Yeah, I know somebody can shoot a 62, but the wind's coming up. I think that's about as far back as you're going to go. You got to overcome a lot of guys. You know, they can shoot a 62, but in that 15, is one of those guys going to shoot a 64, 65, and you're not going to make as much ground. The guys at 8 under, Lowry, I love Shane Lowry. I actually bet him at 60-1 to win the British Open. I love him at the British Open. I think he's going to win another one. I think he's a great player. Seems like a pretty good guy. Brian Harmon's also back there. Nice to see a sighting by him. He seems to have went sideways since he won that Open title a couple years ago. Not a real big fan of his game. Seems like it takes forever for him to hit a goddamn shot. Sepp Straka is there. That guy's a ball shaper. If the wind really gets going, he could be a threat. Him and Berger. Those are the guys I'd really be worried about. All right. That's our podcast for today. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow.